Do you struggle to improvise? When you're coming up with details on the fly, is the inn always low-ceilinged and smoky? Is the innkeeper always an older man called Bob? When the door bursts open and the monsters rush in, are they always goblins? What's the solution? Well, you've seen an advert for an AI app. Is now the time to get a robot assistant gamemaster? Probably not. You've already got access to something even better than that, and you might not have realized it. So what is the problem that an AI GM assistant is trying to help you fix? Before I get into that, I am going to tell you what my ideal place for keeping GM notes is. I'll tell you that at the end. What's needing fixing? Well, it's creativity. It's coming up with ideas. It's staring down that blank white space, either beforehand in our prep or during the session when a player says to us, what about this? What about that? Who are all the people in the inn? Your mind goes blank and you think to yourself, but the people I've watched on the internet GMing, they don't have this problem. Well, let's look at that and break it down. The first thing is, I saw an advert the other day for an AI GM writing assistant where the specific scenario was one of your players walks up to the innkeeper and says, hello, I'd like a list of the names and occupations of everyone currently in this tavern. And the GM is like, oh no, I haven't prepared that. What am I going to do? This is what the innkeeper would say in my game. You want everyone's names? What are you with? Tax office? Here, Bert, this guy wants to know what job everyone does. Oh yeah? You with the tax office? No one asks that. And this is tapping into what the actual problem is that AI wants to fix. It's a problem you don't actually have. An AI assistant game master isn't there to make you a better game master. It's there to make you a game master that's using AI. That's their business model. They want you to forget to end the free trial. I've been there. And end up paying for it. And if I'm paying for it, well, I might as well use it. Oh, and if I've been using it, I might as well continue paying for it. But what problem is it solving? There's nothing scarier than your mind going blank. Either when you're trying to prepare for a game you've got that evening, or when a player asks you a question you weren't ready for. But there's better things to do than use AI. Detail is one of the things it says it will fix. It will write you a glowing description of the innkeeper, of the tavern, NPC with a backstory and relations and a web of connections and all the details about them and a little obviously AI portrait of them. You don't need any of that. You are not writing a novel. You are not alone laboring away trying to come up with descriptions on your own for an audience you'll never see. You're a storyteller in a cooperative storytelling game. You're doing this with other people, and the solution is to tell the story with those other people. You can do this in two ways. You can do this before the session and you can do this during the session. Before the session, what I have done is given out to my players index cards and said to them, can you write on here the name of a person, a place, or a thing? And then we'll go through and decide which of those they are. Write on one side a name. Fantastic. We'll shuffle them, turn them face down. On the other side, without looking, write down whether it is a person, a place, or a thing. And then we've gone through and said, okay, this one says Himbler. Himbler is going to be, it's a location. Himbler is a village. It's a village, it's a leafy green village on the side of a lake. It's known for its fishing. And when you're handed a prompt with the words on, you will find you can go, I've got this footstep, that footstep, my foot goes down there next. I know the next detail. And then we start to walk. And your players can join in, hopefully will join in. And they will tell you, oh, yes, he's very tall. Oh, she's never seen without her dog. And the words you've got become locations, become people, become organizations or objects or cults or gods or whatever you need. The other thing you can do is say to them, I want to make a random table of names. Can you all suggest 5 names, 10 names to put on a table? You can make your own random tables. You don't need to have an AI scrape the internet. You're the GM. You can scrape your players. I'll edit that out. During the game, you can do this too. If suddenly your mind goes blank and you don't know what the inside of the blacksmithy looks like, you can say to one of your players, Galrock feels very at home in this smithy. What is it that reminds Galrock of their childhood here? Or you can say, Steve, your character takes an instant dislike to the merchant because she reminds him of someone he met as a kid. Who was that, and why is this unfair of him? I call these resonance questions, and it's a way of throwing back a bit of world building to the players and making them do a bit of work. If you've got the right players, then they will love this. Not only does it mean you get a couple of seconds to think while they go, ooh, but it gives them and their character a hook to the location. If the inn reminds somebody of the village they grew up in because of the smell of the cooked fish and all of the straw scattered across the floor, maybe they're less likely to burn it to the ground. So that's what I think about AI writing your adventure for you. I don't think you need it. What you need is your players, because you are not alone. You are not a novelist. I did say at the beginning I would tell you where I personally keep my GM notes. The best place I found for them, for my style of GMing, is to use a form of wiki so that I can write things as they come up, I can store ideas as I have them to use later, and most importantly, I can create links to pages I haven't created yet. I'm not a huge fan of detail. I think there's a very good reason why we don't need that. There's more on that in the video up here about my idea for the length of the ideal session. But that's all for now. I'll see you next time. Ooh.